Man, it's been a long time since Trial by Fireside happened, at least for this season. We're already in the third week, but it looks like we'll have our second cast. We had one earlier in the season with Between Devil's Edge and Family Guy Creepypasta with Odd Rumpus and Hoot. But we have me and Mono, me, Mr. Fireside, aka Jay, aka Sile, aka Josh, whatever the hell you want to call me. And I have RGL's own Mr. Mono. Total control, Mono, per Jamon's words. Mono, how are you?
I'm doing amazing. I'm really excited to watch some amateur gameplay, see what these guys are up to, whatever they can put out onto the field. I guess we can say what the teams are. It's going to be Boruto Fan Party versus the Cowboys. They're both 1-1 in the amateur season. It's Bagel week, so they're going to be throwing it down on a most people's, I think, favorite cough maps. It's certainly mine, CO, but we might be expecting a lot of chaos, a lot of big plays, maybe misplays, but we always love to see them here on Trial by Fireside and watch these players give it their all.
Yeah, and I see a food name in the chat in the game on Boruto Fan Party, aka Mr. Kimchi. And on the topic of food, I got to talk about our sponsor, exclamation mark Factor, because we got Factor meals, and I'm sure Kimchi's really hungering for some kimchi, but sadly, I don't think Factor Meals actually does have kimchi as a food offering. 50% off your first box, 20% off the next 4 weeks of boxes, exclamation mark Factor to find out more information. Use our link, use our code, and that deal will be exclusively yours only if you use our code in the next 6 days, I believe, per se. But let's quickly run down some rosters. These guys are waiting to get ready, but I'll run down the Cowboys roster. Actually, I'll run down the Naruto Fan Party first, because actually they didn't have all six of their players here for the match, but they were able to find a reliable ringer in their flank scout, Blaze, who, to not be confused with the actual invite player Blaze, but actually it's kind of coincidentally funny because invite player Blaze actually started off his career as a scout, then just transitioned to roamer, to which he's mostly known for. We have flank scout Blaze, like I said, pocket scout is Hollow, roamer is Indy, pocket soldiers Kimchi for me, demo man is Cheese, and medic is Noble. You want to
All
run down
right.
the Cowboys for me?
Sure, of course, of course, of course. So on the Cowboys rootin' and tootin', we are going to have Oobs or Oobles. I think that's the correct way of saying it. It's going to be
Yeah.
your flank scout. Bloomston is going to be your pocket scout. Almos and Wadsworth are going to be the two soldiers. Almos on roamer, Wadsworth on pocket. You got Smokey on demo man and Tuna kind of finishing off that food motif you were talking about earlier on medic and obviously we're not gonna go too into it, but I'm expecting to see a lot of great things from these players. We'll see how they try and take this Bagel Week, their only match on it for the season, unless they get into playoffs and they opt to play it there. But both of them, like I said earlier, 1-1 in the season, got one win, one loss, and obviously, they're both hoping to go 2-1 from this. Ideally, not with two losses. So we're just gonna have to see how it goes. I am gonna say I am favoring a little bit the Cowboys because it looks like they have a bit more experience just, in CompTF2 in general. But, that's not to say that the Boruto fan party might be able to get some of their. I was going to make a Naruto reference, but I don't really know much about Naruto. But, they maybe harness the power, whatever Naruto does. And
Go to Shippuden.
yes, go Super Saiyan. Yes. And yeah,
Wait,
and
wait, I'm not sure if
take
that's
him
the right
down.
show. I'm not sure if that's the right show. Total
What?
control, Mono. Totally no control,
Oh,
more like.
I'm sorry. Whoops. But regardless, hopefully they'll be able to pull whatever they need out and take it to the Cowboys because it should be an exciting match. And a Bagel, I think it's a great map for all of the classes. Sometimes on these COF maps, you can have maps that are maybe a bit better for scouts product, especially, or it's very sniper focused. But
Mhm.
Bagel is a very kind of well-rounded map. Soldiers can find something to do, scouts can find something to do, demo men can find something to do. So I think really coming into this today, the team that has maybe the better coordination, maybe all-around team play, might be able to walk away with it here, Jay. But I mean, when you're looking at Bagel, what are your initial thoughts about it? What do you look for in a team when they're going into Bagel, and what do you think these teams got to do if they want to come out victorious?
Yeah, I kind of think that how would I say this? Bagel's kind of like the antithesis of the soldier class in general, just because yes, there is a few bombing spots that you can have on this map, but generally the soldiers are confined to this really enclosed space between the left and the right houses on the mid. So really, essentially, most of the soldiers' job on the map, aside from just the general concept of four-man sacks on Koth or like double bombs in general, is just holding passively in the house and just taking fights in enclosed spaces in which, compared to most maps and most chokeholds, you don't really have these small close fight encounters you have in-house. Maybe, for example, you could note like processes IT between the mid and second flank, but just overall, you'll kind of see, if you were watching Bagel at a higher level, you'll see the pocket soldier towards his team's house that is connected to concrete and main. He's just holding passively, spamming point. Roamer kind of shifts between the roofs and the two roofs next to the health pack on the right side by right house, and then just decides whether he wants to play passive spam point or just take a 2v1 shove on the flank with the scout. Now, granted, I don't think we're going to see that because this is the amateur level, and most of those, general concepts on how to approach Bagel don't fully indoctrinate into the teams themselves. But we should see, I would say, a lot of skirmishes on the midpoint itself, and maybe we'll see a lot of soldier flanks just because most teams aren't dedicated to the typical standard holds or approaches to each specific fight in Sixes in general, especially when it comes to Bagel. So for me, what I'm going to see here is I'm going to look to the soldiers to do a lot of bombs, a lot of aggressive shoves in the flanks, just abuse a lack of situational awareness from the scouts or maybe the teams in general of knowing, you have to keep an eye and just have really good comms. Because with amateur and newcomer teams, they have the basics of TF2 down, especially if you have a mentor to, guide your team, especially when you're doing demo reviews and map reviews. But the things that you have to practice, the things that are kind of like a staple of playing TF2 at a higher level, like comms, situational awareness, and just holding the right positions at the right times nearly 100% of the time, are still in the works for these teams. So for me, we're going to see a lot of individual plays. We're going to see a lot of mistakes, but that's not really a bad thing. Because, when they look back at the VOD, because, Trial by Fireside is for players looking back at the VODs and thinking like, oh yeah, we made this mistake here, the casters pointed it out. We're going to try to point out all the mistakes without being too overcritical, while still providing, the best experience for both the viewers and the players as they look back on this VOD mono. Sorry, I kind of went on a tangent there, but
no,
I wanted to explain the concept
okay.
of it.
Yeah, of course. I mean, everything you said is completely correct. And I mean, I can't even be overcritical if I want to because, I'm not perfect. I make a bunch of mistakes as well in these gameplays. So it's always good to look over, your prior VODs or, if you're so fortunate to get casted, something like that, because it can be really eye-opening into maybe the things your teams are doing. But speaking of it, we are going live, Boruto Fan Party versus the Cowboys over here on the first mid. Hopefully it's going to be nice for all the teams because they were having a bit of connection issues. Interesting for me to watch right now is Boruto Fan Party going to be rolling out through the right side through their garage. A bit atypical, but they managed to get the mid all the same. Instantly, we can try and see them trying to push that right house, kind of spamming Wadsworth back. He has to back up as well, but everyone else on the side of the Cowboys have just taken the space on the point. They're just spamming them down. They haven't been really able to get very close to the point, and now everyone on Wadsworth's team is bombing in here. The Cowboys trying to push with the aggression, and they just got so much damage, Jay. They were able to force everyone back on Boruto Fan Party, and they now have to regroup.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of just really stated out the basic mid and what the abuse. Almost pushed right house, then both the soldiers on Boruto Fan Party shoved left. Like, they were all not playing, they weren't playing the default, but that's okay. Like, they noticed the mistake now that Almost was able to abuse. And the Cowboys, they have a forward hold here, but I like this. They have both of them on concrete. They're shoving out and trying to pressure off, but the Uber comes up from Boruto Tcmano.
Yeah, the Uber's coming out. They are going to be able to take down a soldier as well, but the counter Uber was used. Kimchi, unfortunately, gonna die, but they've got a bit of high ground presence. Indy doing a lot, staying on the point right now. As the rest of the team is trying to back him up now. The rest of the respawners coming in from the side of the Cowboys. They are going to try and defend this. They did get a lot of time on the point, about a minute, but that's all it's going to be. We do see a bit of a scuffle in the side area. It is going to be Wadsworth now trying to escape with his life. Oh, you're right. Ubels in the backlines. He does get one, and that allows Alamos to get another as well. Now all these Cowboys players are just going to be aggressing. That's going to be Ninja going down with no medical life for them. They're just going to have to hightail it out of there or try and go for a sack play of their own. They're just going to go back to their spawn and try and regroup and figure out how to go from here. But they are at big Uber disad, Jay.
Yeah, really good exchange to start off by borutofan.party, but once they got into the midst of the post exchange, they just let go of one of the houses, and once again a Cowboys player flanks Ubels the time instead of Almos.
Yes, and now we can see, it looks like borutofan.party, they are going to be trying to go forward. They did lose one earlier in Kimchi, but they're still going to be trying to make their way in here. They do have to worry about the Uber, however, from the Cowboys, because they can just let loose anytime they want to, but there's going to be some players in the back. It's going to be Alamos with the combined efforts of Tuna and Smokey, just going to be cleaning up these overextended players, some would say. And now we do have one still up. It is going to be Indy kind of lurking in the central area. He's going to try and go for a ball. He does get the force. Great stuff. That's really crucial. Now they have to keep their medic alive. Noble is going to be safe and sound back at their own spawn, and now this is actually a pretty good position for borutofan.party, because now they've got full Uber to try and work with onto the point, but they just have to make sure.
Thankfully,
They
nobody
do
gets caught out by it, and Ninja's gonna leave this in, but look at this. No scout on the Uber. They won't be able to close the distance on the concrete very well. I mean, Hollows, they're gonna try to pick up the scouts, and they actually get Tuna for it, Tcmano.
Yes, really great stuff. Now they just have to make sure they keep Noble alive. They are going to cap, which means that the spawners are going to be a bit quicker on the side of the Cowboys, so any trades that they get are going to be a bit more beneficial for them. Luckily, they're able to clean everyone up without losing anyone of their own. There is Alamo still in one of the side areas. He isn't going to die, so he's going to stay alive. And actually, no, as I say that, he does die.
Curse!
Caster's curse. I'm so sorry, Alamos, if you're looking back. I didn't intend for that to happen, but a good cleanup from the side of borutofan.party. They really need to get a lot of time down here on the clock, Jay, because they have 2 minutes compared to the Cowboys' 44 seconds.
Oh man, the Cowboys realize no spam cost forward left, so they can push it to the left for Freaky, and Wadsworth is up. Oh my goodness, blown into smithereens and out into the sky are the remains, and this is going to lead to a Cowboys wipe. I mean, a really great start prior to this push out from the Cowboys from borutofan.party, but they just have too many slits into their holes. They have too many cracks and crevices that the Cowboys are abusing. Once again, I feel like they all focus on denying one area of the map, but they don't pay attention to the other one.
Yes, and we'll have to see if they're going to be able to adapt. Obviously, when you're in a TF2 game, adaptation is really the key thing. If you're at the back foot and you want to try to get back into it, we're going to have to see. They're not having much success right now, as they are going to be losing two. They do get Tuna, though. I retract all my statements. Really great stuff. They did lose Noble. However, they might be able to get up in time to get in here. They won't have to worry about any Ubers. It is going to be extremely close, and they have to go right now. They might just be able to make it to the point. Only a few seconds left. With a nice trap from Smokey. That's going to say no to that. Ninja does bomb on the point, managing to get there in time. Indy is going to try and go for a play. Takes down one, but that's not going to be enough. First round to the Cowboys.
Yeah, first impressions of this match so far. borutofan.party, they funnel all in through one area. They need at least one soldier, maybe a scout at that, to hold the other flank, because Cowboys, they were able to create such a large advantage just off of the fact that they were able to abuse the houses. And I see a sniper roll on Blaze, but, you know, just to continue my last point, I think borutofan.party, they're going to need to watch everything here from now on.
Yeah, they are going to have to try and fix things. We'll have to see if the sniper can. Bagel, not the best cough map for sniper, but not saying it's awful. We are going to see if they're going to be able to play around him, and most importantly, if Blaze is going to be able to get shots. However, with a soldier bombing in, it's Wadsworth on Noble, going to be taking him down. It's just a collapse right here in this right area. It's just going to be one player left alive. It is Hollow. Is he going to be able to get a kill? No, unfortunately not. And that is the trouble with running sniper. Instead of a scout, you have one less hit scan player to try and protect your medic from those dastardly bombing soldiers. So it can work if it works, but if it doesn't work, it can be disastrous.
Now look at this forward hold from the Cowboys. They have both of them on concrete, Smokey trapping up left area, and this should be a really good hold, but unfortunately, one of the soldiers is back on point. So borutofan.party take control and covering here, but Wadsworth may have baited, but he might get damaged, but no, just has to back off.
Yeah, Alamos a little bit stuck in there. Is going to be trying to deny as long as possible. Finally makes the right call and backs up to where the rest of his team is holding now. Boruto Fan Party, as you said, going to be able to get in here, and crucially, they're able to do so without losing anyone. They get on the tuna! Amazing fight from Ninja, just sniping him down. Now Indy going to be taking down Wadsworth as well, who was trying to counter-aggress on the Noble. Now Loopson, and he gets it! Oh my god, he's just running in, no fear from Bloomston, just making all of the epic plays for his team to keep them. And crucially, Jay, throughout all of that madness, Cowboys still have control of a point, and they've managed to get it down to basically a minute 30 halfway through, which is really, really important because as it's key on Koth, time is so crucial.
Yeah, Cowboys are very situationally aware. Once they give up the forward hold, they played back on point. Sure, Tuna went down, but Bloomson there with the heroics. And now, again, Tcmano, we see a familiar scenario, but Ubel's going down is not part of that.
Yeah, Hollow gonna be trying to get in. We do... Actually, never mind. I thought we had a pause, but we don't. A lot of damage, however, onto the combo of the Cowboys. They are going to have to back up. Almost on a 6K. He's on a 7K. The man is just sniping people down with these rockets. Excellent stuff from him. But still, if you are the Boruto Fan Party, luckily you didn't lose their medic there. Ubers are slightly evening up, but you make sure you can't lose anyone else. And Ninja going down is not what you want to see. Now, we're just going to have to wait for him to respawn. Luckily, they do have faster respawns because they don't have control of the point, but unfortunately, Jay, they don't have control of the point, and they've only got 40 seconds to try and make something work here.
And they haven't even kept a single time, so that actually puts them in a huge deficit. So right now, they're just going to have to try to gain some confidence, maybe heading into this half. And Wadsworth just walks in with no care in the world, kills Ninja, and he actually gets off the force by himself. The Uber might find a soldier, but no, the counter pop is out. Hollow might get caught out in grass, does die eventually, and almost now continuing his reign of terror, gets the kill, makes that an 8K at that, and with his life, he's gonna push aggressively to mate with the rest of his team, might get a 9th here into the scout, will manage to do so on a blaze, and almost is just pushing the limits here. Get hyped once, and now we'll think better of that.
Yes, now it's going to be desperation for Boruto Fan Party. They might not be able to make it to the point in time, but at least they can pad their stats just a little bit. Every 2v2 player does it, and they are going to do some damage, but still, Cowboys had too dominating of a presence, and it is going to be 2-0 as we go into the first halftime. Or, yeah, potentially the first halftime, because if a Boruto Fan Party get 2-0 in their next run of things, we're going to go into a second halftime, which is always confusing to think about. But regardless, it's definitely going to be on Boruto Fan Party, Jay, to try and fix things, change things up if they want to try and walk away with the victory.
Yeah, a huge thing that maybe higher level players don't understand yet is that newcomer and amateur still follow the traditional conflict that we had, where it's like Koth is 2 rounds win limit, you know, up until 4. Whereas with the progressive rule set, we've updated to a 1/2 only first to 4. So that's kind of, you know, constrains the fact that these players, you know, they do need to have time to, you know, situate, gather their thoughts, you know, reset their mental. And it's built for situations like these where Boruto Fan Party, they start off, they get absolutely demolished by the Cowboys. And now they have time to rethink their strategy and just look back and wonder, you know, what went wrong? What can we do better to, you know, have a better chance of winning maybe potentially the second half and, you know, eliminating this 2-0 deficit. So I think one of the things that I want to go on before I throw it to you, Mono, is that one of the things that I noticed in this half overall from the Cowboys is that they were very situationally aware of every scenario that was presented to them. Whenever they had a huge advantage after wiping on the point, they immediately set up a forward hold. Smokey had a really good position. You know, we had a few times where we switched the camera to him and he was holding towards the stairs, you know, to the entrance of left house. From his perspective, that's actually a very common spot for Demoman to hold, because being able to trap the lower left entrance area into mid from the aggressing opposing team allows Demoman to lock out that left area so well, compared to like having 2 soldiers there. Your Demoman, they have to worry. He can hold the stickies and then they have to clear the traps, and that, you know, further delays the push out from the enemy team pushing out of their battlements. And then you have the 2 soldiers on concrete, maybe one plays towards main, the other one plays top right concrete. That's like a very... Because pushing out of main where the health pack is, the attacker side is so enclosed and so susceptible to spam, it's ideal for the 2 soldiers there to be there. I think the Cowboys, they have the protocols down. They're playing it to a T. Burrito Fan Party, they have a lot of holes in their gameplay right now that I'm noticing. Like, for example, like I said earlier in the first round, Soldiers, they were pushing in through one house on the map rather than, like, having one play passive on the other one and denying a potential Almos or a potential Ubel flank. If they can fix that up and they notice, and if hopefully they've noticed that actually, because they got abused by it at least 4 times in that half. If they make those adjustments, they'll be good to maybe have a better standing into this next half. But right now, it's kind of not looking like that'll be the case.
Yeah, and I mean, obviously, every time it's always easier to spot these things out when you're just having a bird's eye view, and it's so much harder when you're actually in the game to recognize those things and make the correct adjustments and make sure everyone on your team is thinking the same thing and doing the same thing. And that's kind of what makes, as long, with kind of better DMs and just a better base understanding of the game, it's kind of what makes the top invite players so good, is because they are able to do that. But even at a lower level, those are the type of things that you're kind of working towards and trying to recognize when it happens. And I 100% agree with everything you're saying. If Burrito Fan Party want to try and get back into it, maybe they can go well, I can't say Super Saiyan because it's not the correct franchise, but you guys get what I'm saying. Maybe they can find it within themselves to make the correct adjustments on a different thing. I don't know if we have the stats up on screen, but even though, it was, especially that second round, maybe a bit one-sided for one of the teams, still Alamo's doing 506 DPM. I mean, it's too good not to just shout out. Wadsworth at 446, Smokey at 331 as well. Shout outs to Ninja Cheese at 289, Indy at 286. So definitely the players putting in the work for their respective teams. But I mean, like you said, maybe it is going to be, something like making sure they're watching all the flanks and being a bit more situationally aware for Burrito Fan Party. Or, maybe they kind of mix things up. They just try and out chaos the Cowboys, maybe put a bit of lawlessness into a, that old country town or something like that. But I guess we will have to see, if these halftime adjustments can be the difference maker. Momentum is such a crucial thing as well, as you're kind of saying earlier, because at a certain point when all that chaos was going on, the Cowboys just had control of the point. And so any chaos really benefited them. If Burrito Fan Party can get into a similar situation, we might be able to see them whittle down the clock, but we're just going to have to see if we go into our next half here, Jay.
Yeah, let's hope the Cowboys can, take their horse to the Old Town Road again. I mean, the only thing that I probably have to, take awareness of is that Tuna maybe focusing on airing a bit too much, and he actually had 2 drops in that half. So hopefully he can have a better performance this half.
Oobles just going in deep. Now we see this counter bomb from Wadsworth doing a lot of damage. Not going to be able to find a kill onto Noble, but unfortunately for him, he was trapped up by the rock and does get taken down by a nice sticky from the side of Smokey. Now only Indy alive. Oh, he trades with Almos. So, I mean, there you go. He got his man. He can say that to his team. I got my one. What did you guys get? And, I'll still have to, I'll go look at the drawing board because it is a team game, Team Fortress 2 at the end of the day. But still, really great aggression from the side of the Cowboys. They're going in and then they're letting their players distract and using those distractions to go in and get in deep. Now we are going to see Burrito Fan Party actually just cap up the point, recognizing there wasn't a lot of pressure stopping them from doing so, and a good play from them to get in there. We do see Kimchi trying to go in for a play, does die, but a lot of damage on the Smokey. He's going to have to back up. He was only 4 hit points down from dying.
Oh my goodness.
Play is going to be taken down Wadsworth as well, and this is a reinvigorated Burrito Fan Party right here. We are going to see the Cowboys try and get onto the point. Almost going down so low yet again. He's going to be at 27 hit points now. He finally does get an arrow to tank him back up, but really great stuff from Burrito Fan Party. They're playing the point so much more effectively now without losing everyone just instantly and trying to put the Cowboys in their place here, Jay.
And good spot by Hollow onto almost flanking the right house, but they give it up! They give it up and almost spamming down. Now Burrito Fan Party have a lot of avenues to worry about, but they will answer by taking the exchange. And this is actually a favorable exchange for the Cowboys. Not until that city from Bloomston, but never mind that. I cursed him again. He goes down in the midst of that exchange, and it's an even exchange on the Uber, 1-for-1 apiece. But Indy going down there, just over-aggressing on concrete towards the Cowboys' concrete is not going to bode well. With the flank coming in eventually soon from Almos, he will get blasted back to his battlements and will actually live. And Ubel's now going down. The Soldier aggressing too. The flank of the Cowboys went in, and they got the pick on the Noble.
Yes, excellent stuff from Wadsworth being able to snipe down the medic there. Bruto Fan Party did cap up the point, meaning they are going to have longer respawns, so don't be too surprised to see the Cowboys try and instantly push that, recognizing that fact. They do have a medic up, but looks like they are just kind of taking their time. Maybe they don't realize the advantage they had. There was no medic up on the side of a Bruto Fan Party, so all damage was permanent for a short time. But still, they are going to get here. Maybe they're just going to play the Uber ad that they know they have. Now finally getting a bit of pressure onto the point. Doing well to cap it up pretty quickly. Now we do see a bit of resistance from one of the soldiers, but he's just going to get pressured off. A little bit of a scuffle in one of the side houses, but it is going to be the Cowboys kind of walking away with the better trade on that front. We are going to see them try and pressure a bit of an overextended Ninja right now. He is going to manage to sneak away back to the rest of his team and stay alive. So especially crucial there that he didn't go down and kind of delay the future push out for his team. But Cowboys do have Uber, Jay, so it is going to be difficult for Bruto to try and work in here. And it's going to be even worse with Wadsworth taking down Ninja.
Yeah, the thing is that the Bruto Fan Party, they only tried once pushing through lower right. They're just trying to bash their head against a wall, pushing out through this very easily spammable choke point, and they're still trying to have a go at it. This might end with them popping out inside of concrete, but they're hesitating. They're just getting denied time and time again by Wadsworth and Almos, and it's not working out so well for them.
It is not, but still, they've got to try and make something work here. They do have Uber, and they are going to use it. If they can get enough picks, they can make it worth it just a little bit. Now, finally, the counter Uber is used. No one dropped on the side of the Cowboys, and they are going to be able to get on the Kimchi. Ninja, a bit overextended, but the reinforcements coming in. It might be a collapse onto the rest of the players of the Cowboys. They are going to be able to take down Tuna, so no medic alive for the Cowboys. If they can just keep Noble alive, this might be good, but as I say, that's going to be the two bombing soldiers coming in. Wadsworth and Almos doing huge amounts of damage. Now, Hollow in a 1v1 with Bloomston. Bloomston might be trying to get in a way, but now Kimchi coming in to help his player. Great teamwork there. Unfortunately, Hollow still goes down to Smokey. But still, once again, throughout all of that chaos, it was the Cowboys who controlled the point. So it's the Cowboys who have the lesser time on the board right now.
Definitely. Boruto Fan Party, they might as well try to graduate from the RGL Season 12 class as the next Shippuden class, but I don't think they're gonna need to channel a little more of that Shippuden energy, I'd say. A bit. That was a bad line, you know. Never mind. I feel like though they're just getting reclapped from the post exchange very hard by the Cowboys, and it's not working out. Like I see here again, Indy fights point, he gets absolutely counter jumped by the rest of the Cowboys. I'm just not really liking their aggression. They're not doing it together, and it's not working out.
Yeah, it is a team game, and you know, you can make a great stellar play on your own, but if you don't have your team to back you up or work off of it, it can be all for naught, as we do see the rest of the Cowboy players just picking up the Fan Party to pieces. It is going to be now 3-1, do or die for the Boruto Fan Party. It's going to be a sad after party if they don't find some way to get back into it. And yeah, like you said, Jay, we are seeing a bit more signs of life from the Boruto Fan Party. They've obviously kind of changed things up, and it was a much closer round than we saw in the first half, but still the Cowboys a bit too dominant for them right now.
Yeah, and this is a very interesting switch up, an interesting adjustment by Cheese, pushing into left house, and he actually catches off Uber's on point, but that leads to a scout dying in that respective house by Indy, actually, or actually the opposite. And Hall's going down, look at this. Boruto Fan Party, they're only in one area of the map. Once again, Cowboys have control of the majority of the map, and they're getting the better advantage in the man-for-man trade.
Yeah, they are, and now we are going to see the two soldiers from the side of Cowboys try and get in and do something, but instead it's going to be Blaze doing a lot of damage on the Smokey, but crucially Smokey does live from the helpful tanking from Tuna, and now Cowboys in control of the point, but this time Noble nor Tuna did die, so Ubers are going to be even as we see Boruto Fan Party try and push on the point. Great rocket from Indy onto one of the scouts right there, and they are going to be able to cap it up. Oh, and Ninja unfortunately goes down, a little bit of a crater right there. Hollow going down as well. Uber has been used, forced out from Boruto Fan Party. Tuna is so far away. Now the counter Uber is going to be used. They want to try and aggressively get in here, try to get onto Noble, but Noble reading the situation extremely well. Going to be able to back up, make sure he doesn't lose his life, and put his team at an even worse Uber disadvantage, Jay.
Man, Boruto Fan Party are popping so early, and the Cowboys are kiting so well, so every time their counter pop is just insanely good, and their post collapse is really good too at that. And Smokey, once again, he has a forward position, and he delays the push up from the flank on the lower left. His team is delaying so much time right now, and I really see Boruto Fan Party having a huge trouble trying to retake this point.
Yes, as now they are going to be trying to make some space on the point are the soldiers. We do see Hollow go in fairly deep, but a bit disconnected from the rest of his team, so he is going to go down. Now the rest of the Bruto fan party just kind of clumped up on this left side house, but that just means it's open for Wadsworth to just get in there and do a bunch of damage. Now the cleanup as well from Alamo is going to be taken down. Indy, another soldier left alive. It's going to be Kimchi going down, basically a full wipe, as Hollow is the faster respawner. And, you know, it's they're trying out a lot of different things, but it's just not quite working for them, Jay.
I really don't think it's a huge like DM differential between the teams. I think it's just an overall understanding of how the map is played. And Smokey, I think, is probably the leader for his team, and he's actually leading his team in terms of points and also damage at that, maybe alongside Almost. So you got to give credit to those two.
Yeah, you definitely do, as only a minute 20 left on the clock that the Bruto fan party have to try and work. Great shot off onto Bloomston. It's going to open things up for them, however. Wadsworth might be taken down, but it's going to be Smokey instead. They finally get onto that ever so damaging demo, and now the two soldiers going to be trying to bomb in onto the medic. Wadsworth gets in very deep. He gets the two rockets onto Noble. That is so unfortunate that the scouts were just a bit too far up. I don't know if it's Noble not being with the scouts or scouts not being with Noble. Either way, great read from the soldier to get in on there. And now with full Uber, it's going to be Tuna trying to get in.
What the?
What?
Almost. Almost is just going crazy right now, dude.
Yes.
Another 7K.
Oh my goodness. I mean, he's just doing so much work for the team. It cannot be overstated. As now they are once again posturing for a forward hold. Tuna crucially not having to use there when they pushed out of their own house, and now they're going to be able to use to defend the point. They do take down Wadsworth. Good opening for Bruto fan party. Doesn't even matter too much that they lost place, because they are going to have the faster respawners. Still going to be trying to get in here through one of the doors. They might get a pick up onto one of his scouts if he can connect the rocket, and he does. Indy taking down Oobles. Now they have two picks to try and work with. Hollow trying to get in, but disconnected from the rest of the team. It's going to be taken down. Oh, Alamo's on a knife, getting another nice rocket off. Now he's just going to be stuffing the choke. Finally gets taken down, but Blaze trying to be running in onto Smokey. Uber finally used from the side of Tuna. Noble is so close, but he's disconnected from the rest of his team. Now he has back up. Everyone on Brutal fan party trying to get onto the point. They are finally trying to cap it up, and there's only 10 seconds left. A huge bomb coming in from Wadsworth, just doing so much damage. Now they are going to finally get it up, but they have 4 seconds, and they have to hold it for 2 minutes as everyone else on the Cowboys just tie them in, and that is going to be a 4-0 victory. 20 LG wins it in a clean sweep. Good stuff from them. A good game as well from Bruto fan party, but at the end of the day, the Cowboys had their number.
Yeah, you got to really attribute that to, almost having a huge pop-off game, Burrito fan party not having a good knowledge of the map. But I really, it's only one map in an 8-week season, so there is still a chance to make playoffs for Burrito fan party. When they look back on this VOD, they'll be noticing a lot of times where they took fights through one avenue rather than trying to pounce upon all 3 avenues of the map, which is the mid, the 2 houses. And the Cowboys, when they look back on this VOD, they'll just see it how good Wadsworth and Almost were on the counterclops in a lot of those mid-fight scenarios. And I really respect the Cowboys for putting in the work to understanding the map. Maybe they've reviewed it with a mentor, I'm not too sure, but I really would like to give my props to whoever was leading that team. Maybe I'm guessing it's Smokey, because it seemed like he dictated a lot of the fights from his point of view. But yeah, props to them. Burrito fan party back to the drawing board. But, starting off 1-2, I believe, is not too bad when you have 5 matches left to end potentially 6-2 at best.
Yeah, and like you said, it's not the end of the world for Burrito fan party. They can definitely find some ways to pick it back up. Maybe, like you said, they're just not a Bagel team, or maybe they weren't able to review the map enough because, if you're just kind of with your standard 5 CP, playing your first Koth might be, a bit of something you got to get used to. And I think for them, it's a lot of their first seasons in competitive TF2, so they might be just a bit more used to the 5 CP if that's what they've had experience pugging with, or just in their scrims because it's a bit easier to initially learn. But still, a really great showing and a really great attempt from them. But an even better showing and attempt for the Cowboys, like you said, going to be 2-1 in their season, 1-2 for Boruto Fan Party. And I don't know what next week is for them, but I assume it's going to be 5CP. So maybe
Yeah, probably.
Boruto Fan Party can have a little bit of an easier, a more familiar time on the more predominant game mode. But I mean, just quickly looking at the logs,
Wow, great
once
job by
again,
Amos.
yeah, once again, Wadsworth, Almost, and Smokey just doing so much damage. Bagel, such a great map for projectiles, for all classes really, but especially for projectiles. But I mean, aside from, a great match that we saw here, Jay, anything else that you want to say? Any shout outs,
Hmm.
sponsor shout outs, players shout outs, maybe you want to shout out, I don't know, the floor's yours.
Yeah, the Cowboys, really good game for them overall. Bloom apparently was the main caller. I think for them moving forward, I would like to see a little more work by Tuna, but by having a little more awareness. A lot of times, I think Tuna maybe was a bit hesitant or just was too focused on healing to notice avoiding any like incoming spam. This team overall is very well rounded. I believe Tuna just has a little bit of extra work to put in, but overall a very solid performance. I think like aside from the two drops and maybe that little precarious scenario where they were backing up and hesitant to use Uber, like Tuna has like some really good saves on the Uber exchanges, which I think is very like critical to have as a medic, especially when your team's taking exchanges and like you have to account for like many players that are getting caught in the Uber and that needed flashes. Tuna did such a good job at that. So the Cowboys, I'm looking forward to seeing what their season progression is. Yep, you're right. On that note, the Cowboys are probably looking for a cowboy burger. And with that, I gotta introduce again exclamation mark factor meals 50% off your first box for 20% off the next 4 weeks of boxes. So, order we get supports Fireside. It goes to our producer, specifically Mr. Underscore Booster Antlers and I, into developing the tools that we use to broadcast TF2. So
Yes.
huge shout outs to them. But I think I don't think Tuna also should harp on those two drops. Every medic has like an off day and off days and like mistakes. It's just a really hard job playing medic too at these lower divs. It's a lot to take in, and there's so much chaos that eventually you're gonna get caught out by like the unfortunate flank or the unfortunate timing of a bomb. So really, it's not something to be too worried about.
No, yeah, I 100% agree. And, Medic is such a team class that, obviously your own positioning and where you choose to put yourself matters, but you also just need the information from your team to help you figure out where it is best to position yourself. Because if you don't
Yeah.
know there's a soldier behind, it doesn't really matter what you do, or you can't really respond in an effective way. But still, great attempt from the Boruto Fan Party. Good stuff from the Cowboys, like you said. Check out the factor code. But I think aside from that, that's going to be it for us here
Oh,
at
shout
Fire.
out, shout out. Where's your shout
Oh,
outs,
my bad,
Tcmano?
my bad, my bad, my bad. Shout outs to all the players for playing. Especially we always like to see high level coverage, but lower level coverage is equally, if not more important, because that's the majority of the player base, and it's always really great to get that representation up on on the stream and give them some love as well. Aside from that, shout outs to you, Jay, Dr. Underscore, for producing it. The work you guys do here on Fireside is always amazing, and it's always fantastic to see the effort you guys put in to make all of this stuff work. Shout outs to all you guys in the chat. Shout outs to the players for playing. And that's it for me. You got any shout outs you want to run down?
Yeah, I'll give a shout out to my MVP of the match, Smokey. Very good fundamentals, very good understanding of how to play the map. That's my MVP, even though almost had and Wadsworth had maybe most of the highlight plays. Smokey overall for me. I consider him like Tim Duncan from the Spurs, the fundamentals guy. Doesn't show up on the highlight reel. He's the glue that keeps the team together. So shout out to him. Shout out to Underscore. Shout out to you, actually. It was great to cast again after being stuck in producer hell. And no better person to do it than with you, so.
Oh, you're too kind. You're too kind.
That's
All
it for
right.
me.
All right. And with that, I think that's it for us as well. Not gonna give Dr. Underscore a shout out, unfortunately, but I'm sure he'll say some amazing things if he did. But regardless, that's gonna be it for us here at Fireside, specifically Trial by Fireside. We'll be back next week with some more stuff. We've actually got a slate, and you can join our Discord to get a little look-see at what we got going on. We got some more coverage of
Yes,
I
check it
Am,
out.
Main, Advanced, Invite. We got all of it over here. And, of course, Trial by Fireside for the lower-level divisions. But until then, my name's Tcmano, joined by J, Dr. Underscore on production. We hope you all have a great night, and take care.
Thank you. See you guys.